Start typing your questions. Marcus asks, why do I love leasing? I'll tell you, that's a great question to start out with, Marcus. Thank you. Everybody, feel free to start typing your questions. We'll get to as many as possible. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshaun, known as Deshaun, the Auto Advisor. Everything we'll be teaching today is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. So I'm going to be very thorough. I'm not going to hold back anything. If you get to the point where we're going over so much info and you're like, wow, this is a lot, we break it down in a step-by-step way in my new digital book. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it. And that book has helped hundreds and hundreds of people get to below market deals from home. You can get a copy of it as part of our welcome offer. It's normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get it in our TikTok bio for 75% off, or in our Instagram bio, or we have a comment in the Facebook and the YouTube comments for you. Activate your 75% off, but it's only good for 30 minutes. That's our welcome offer to you. For those of you who you like more of a, Deshaun, let's work together. Can we do this together? Then certainly you can click those same links and click Shop with Deshaun. See if you qualify for our Done With You program, where you'll be, instead of reading, we have step-by-step videos, and then we have a Facebook community where you can ask all your questions. Over 1,500 people in that community, and we do 2 coaching calls a month with me personally. So let's get to it. Let's start with Marcus's question, and just keep typing your questions, everybody. As I see more people come on, we'll keep giving you the shout outs as new people come on. All right. Marcus asks, why do you love leasing? The payments. The payments. Let me show you an example of what we call a below market lease. Now, we need to distinguish very early on, all leases are not created equal. You need to get a below market lease, which means you're finding the dealer that's going to sell you the car for the lowest amount. We do that through a bidding process. That's why our process is called Cars from Home. So by putting dealers against each other, many of you struggle with negotiations. I want you to step out of negotiating, and I want you to start making people bid. Create multiple offers. That's what we do. So when you're getting multiple offers, you're going to find the dealer that's going to sell the car at the lowest amount. Every dealer has a different price. Remember this. Don't ever think, oh, Nissan is expensive. I wanted an Altima, but Nissan's expensive. No. One Nissan dealer has a different price than another Nissan dealer, and then another Nissan. They all have different prices. So let me show you what a below market lease looks like, because that's all we care about. Here's an example. Let me tell you my story. First lease I ever got was a Pontiac G6. I worked for Pontiac. Some of you know I work for Pontiac, General Motors, and I work for Mercedes-Benz. I worked for Pontiac. I was 22 years old. I needed a car. I needed a newer car. And my sales manager came to me. I didn't even understand it. He said, hey, why don't you lease one? You know, and I had sold a couple leases. I just didn't understand how it worked. But I got a brand new $20,000 Pontiac. I was paying $256 a month. Now, I want y'all to think about this. We know a bunch of people who get their first car and they're paying $400, $500, $600 a month for a used car. Is that correct? Type $ if that's correct. Do we or do we not know a bunch of people? Hold on, I can't see everybody on Instagram. Do we or do we not know a bunch of people? Right? True, right? Okay. $400, $500, $600 a month. Now, at the time, that's what they were paying. Now we know people who are paying $700, $800, $900 a month. So it's gone up. But back then, I'm paying $256 a month. The thing about leasing is you're driving a brand new car. Okay. Yep. I see you, Olivia Bully. All right. So you're with me. Because here's the question he asked me. Marcus asked, why do you love leasing? First thing I answered him was very simple, the payments. That's not the end, though. What I get to drive. Brand new car. Every lease I've ever had, me and my wife have had, I think, 7 leases. We just got our 7th lease on an Infiniti QX60 SUV. So, and we purchased cars too. I've had cars we purchased. But here's the thing. All brand new cars. And I remember when I was 22, I was paying $256 a month for that Pontiac, but we had a friend who got a brand new Corolla and was paying $500 a month. Did she get a bad deal? No. It's a $22,000 car, add taxes, 25, finance that over 5 years, that's a $500 payment. It's not that she got a bad deal. She was taught, hey, I want a car, I got to purchase it. So let me ask you, you're a young 22-year-old starting a family, you're driving a brand new car, you're paying $256 a month, another person driving a brand new car paying $500 a month. Who's winning? The lease or the purchase? L or P? L or P? Let's go, chat. Some of y'all know. If this is your first time here, type the number 1 because y'all going to get to know what we do here. Type the number 1 if this is your first time ever on a car shopping questions and answers stream with us. Arturo, good to see you. Rosa, good to see you. Shirley Johnson, good to see you. Jess, if this is your first time on the show with us, good to see you. Susan, all right. Eagles, I see you. Rosa, I see you. Lauren, good to see you checking in. Love, good to see you. All right, Olivia Blue, this your first time. Glenn Coop. All right. So for those of you, this is your first time, the way you get the most out of what we do here is stay by the keyboard. Stay by the keyboard because this is active. We're only here for about an hour and then we're out. We can go back to doing what we were doing, but God willing, you don't go back to car shopping the way you were car shopping. We can change the way you car shop on this stream, but you got to be tapped in. So that's the difference. The person who's leasing is paying far less. Now, let me give you an example of somebody like one of your peers. Forget about me. Look at somebody like, let's take Zafrina. Now, Zafrina got a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Look, $579 a month. $579 a month. This is a $66,000 vehicle. It's an electric SUV, $579 a month. Now, some of you know, every $5,000 on a car loan is how much per month? I don't expect any of you who this is your first time. Good to see you, PJE. Good to see you. 39, I see you. A lot of first-time people on here. But for some of you who know, you know what we teach. Every $5,000, Chuck Gibson, my man, good to see you. First time on YouTube. Thank you, Marcus. $100. So I want you to burn this into your head, everyone. Whenever you look at a car, every $5,000 on that price is about $100 per month. So when you look at a $20,000 car, and I want you to get used to associating the payment with the car without a down payment. Because if you go in like this, now you'll know how to control. No one can manipulate you. You look at that $20,000 car, you say, okay, that's going to cost me about $400 a month if I finance it, no money down. 5-year loan. Okay, $30,000 car, $30,000 loan, $600 a month. $50,000 car, $1,000 a month. See, this is if you purchasing. This is not leasing. Those of you who are purchasing, you need to have this rule in your head. So when you go in, good to see you, Dame Presley, Christina Mendez, a lot of people on TikTok checking in. When you go in, no one can manipulate you. You know how you get manipulated? You walk in, you look at that $50,000 car and you say, hey, get me the $600 a month on that. Now they know they can't get you the $600 a month unless you're going to have to put a lot of money down or they're going to put you on like a 96-month loan and you're still going to put a lot of money down and you're still not going to be at 600. You don't know what the car cost. And when we look at leasing, you're not paying for the whole car. So let's go back to Zafrina. Zafrina is paying $579 a month, no money down for a $66,000 vehicle. That would normally be $1,100 a month. If she went in and said, okay, $66,000, how much is that vehicle if I wanted to get a loan on it, just purchase it, no money down? Because her lease she did with no money down. So we're working apples to apples. E.L. Harper, good to see you. They say, okay, it's going to cost you about $1,100 a month. She's paying $579. So most leases are 3 years. We don't do 4-year leases. Marcus, you follow up with Marcus just followed up with the why 39 months. We only lease for 3 years or shorter. You never want to take a 4-year lease. I'm going to tell you why. You're paying too long for a car you're giving back. You're paying too long. Good to see you, Daniel Adams. You're paying too long for a car you're giving back. The key with leasing is adding up all the payments at the end of the 3 years and saying, how much did I pay for this car over 3 years? When you do that, you'll see, like, let me give you an example. This is the Infiniti I just got, 2025. We just picked it up. 2025. Now, this is a $54,000 vehicle, if y'all can see it. $54,000. Okay? My payment on this vehicle is $499 a month. I put $1,270 down. $1,200. I gave them my first payment. I gave them the motor vehicles and the dock fee. Came to about $1,270. My payment's $499 for 36 months. Now let's add that up. Remember, $54,000 vehicle. How much would that be if we took a loan on it? Somebody tell me, based on our rule of $100 per. What's up, Zachary Hoffman, Ernest Pearson? A lot of people on TikTok today. Good to see y'all. How much would this car cost? I can't see everybody checking in on. It doesn't tell me when somebody checks in on Instagram. But how much would this $54,000 car be approximately? Yep, little under $1,100 a month. If we just went in and we just said, "Hey, finance me this car, 5-year loan, no money down," I'm gonna be about $1,100 a month. Now, let's add this up. I'm paying $499 a month for 36 months. That's $17,964, and then I gave them about another $700. $18,600 is what it's costing me over 3 years. $18,600. Now that is what we call a steal. It had a great lease program. They took off $8,000. The dealer that won the bid took off $8,000, beat all the competition. So you don't need to get a lease that aggressive. Look at Charles' lease on his Palisade. This is what we call a under 1% lease. But look at Charles' lease. Charles got a Palisade, 2024 Palisade. Look, he said he used our system. He reached out to 3,500 Hyundai dealers from home. He got 10 quotes back. And he said his payment on a almost $49,000 Palisade is $597 a month. $597 a month. You add these payments up, it's nowhere near how much money would be coming out of our household if we purchase. It's not even close. So then you might say, Deshaun, what's the benefit of purchasing then? It's for the long term. That's why, everything I'm teaching is out of our 7-step Cars from Home system. It's the 7-step system in my new digital book, Cars from Home. But step 1 is what we call the most important question, which is how many years are you going to keep the car? If you're not keeping the car 8 years or more, you should not be purchasing it. You should be shopping for a below market lease. For those of you who are like Deshaun, who's a long-term person? You keep your cars 8, 10, 12 years. Let us know. You're long-term. 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, you ain't even thinking about that. You're long. What's up, Amanda F? Good to see you. Scott W. Juanita Harris. Good to see you. Who's the long-term people? Long-term. Do we got any? See if we got any. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Any long-term people? You're keeping your cars 8, 10, 12 years. Let us know how long you've had the cars. Thank you, Scott W. Appreciate you. Okay, Glenn Coop. How many years are you going to keep the car? You said you're long-term, but how many years? How many years have you had your last car? Put it like that. Let us know who's had their car 8 years. Just type the number of years you've had it. 10, 15. Because you know what my truck just hit 11 years. Okay, I see you, P Haircuts. Okay, we got one. What I'm seeing is, and this is why I'm leaning more into leasing, not just the fact that the questions come in about leasing, but the fact that I'm seeing more and more people are keeping their cars for less time. All right, we got Keon Jones, keep his car 10 years. 16 years on a Suburban, Scott W. Okay, these are the people who should be purchasing. and you need the Glen Coupe has a 2015 Equinox. Okay, so you're approaching the 10-year. Yeah, you're right about 10 years. So let's consider this. Some of the rest of you are like, wait, I'm not keeping my cars anywhere near as long as these people. You are the people who should not be purchasing, because I just showed you the amount of money we're paying for these below market leases when you know how to shop. Now, if you're purchasing, you still need to get below market deals, because dealers are lying to y'all. 8 out of 10 dealers are still telling, hey, there's limited inventory and all of this, and this is why you need to pay these high prices. It's just a matter of you not knowing how to shop. That's what the Cars from Home system will teach you how to do. Make people bid, look at multiple offers. You still need to get below market deals. But if you are not keeping the car at least 8 years, you cannot win with a purchase. You can't win unless you're buying like Facebook Marketplace cars, $3,000, $5,000. Cool, that's a win. But if you're buying 15, 20,000 and plus vehicles that you're not keeping for 8 years, you're putting hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month into them. Not to mention repairs, warranty issues, all the things that you're like, it adds up, that you're not going to get back. That fortunately, people who get below market leases, we don't have to worry about any of this stuff. We're driving brand new cars, something goes wrong, we call the dealership, drop it off, they fix it, we go pick it up, and we have super low payments. So yes, benefits of purchasing long term, you pay off your car, you keep it long as possible until the wheels fall off. But if that's not you, you should only be interested in shopping for below market leases. Okay, we're clear? Everything that we're talking about is out of my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. You can get it as part of our welcome offer for $24, but it's only for 30 minutes. That's our welcome offer. It's in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. And you can activate that. It'll be in your inbox by the time we end the stream, and you'll have everything we teach about how to get below market leases, new cars, purchases, how to get below market loans, high mileage driving strategies, bad credit. What do you do when you have bad credit? How does this plan change with bad credit? That's all in there. For those of you who are like, Deshaun, can we work together? Can you walk us through this? We have our Cars from Home done with you. Click those same links, see if you qualify for that program. And then we have our group. When you see everybody, all of these people I'm posting from our Facebook group, same system. It's just 2 different learning styles. Some of you, you're a do-it-yourself person. Deshaun, give me the blueprint. I will follow it to the T, and I will knock it out. We don't leave anything out. That's why that book has 5 stars. You can Google it, all on Goodreads. Thank you to everyone who's reviewed it and rated it. It's the mastered blueprint of do-it-yourself car shopping and doing everything we do. Those of you who are like, you're more of a done with you person, you want a community. We have 1,500 people in our Facebook group that's come before you, and you got people who've gotten multiple cars using our system in our Facebook group. Sheree just got her 4th car. Where is she at? She just got her 4th car. Look, graduated again. Look, turned in my 2022 CRV, got a 2025 Honda CRV Sport. This is the second go round of a lease. She's gotten 2 pre-owned cars. So look, Ken McGee. These are people who came in just like you, didn't know anything about shopping from home, and they just assumed, based on what I was saying, that we could lead them to success. And they came in, they followed a predictable system, and look, I graduated, $585 monthly payment, no down payment, $49,000 Nissan Murano Platinum, almost $50,000 vehicle. He's paying $585 a month. There's people right now paying almost $1,000 a month for that same vehicle. $900 if they took a long loan, $800 if they took a 96-month loan. He's paying half of that. So this is about financial literacy with cars. So you can see if you qualify for our Done With You program. Let's keep the questions coming. And let's go. We got a lot of people on here. I want to make sure we get to as many as possible. What's a normal interest rate for a solo guy credit 700? It's a great question. We can't feel for the bottom with interest rates. No matter what interest rate you get, if you leave the dealership and someone was to ask, do you think you got the best interest rate? You're going to say, no, I don't know. I hope I did. That's why we use a strategy called the bank bidding war. Everything we do is a bid. The one thing that eliminates buyer's remorse is bidding. Why do you think we can buy a TV on Amazon in 10 minutes and not regret it? It's because we're seeing enough of the market. You go to Amazon, then you pop over to Walmart, then you pop over to this, and you see in 10 minutes, you see, all right, this is the best price, right? Right? Type right if you understand that. Type right if you could. See, these are principles. What's up, Jerry Eric? Good to see you. Susanna, Callie Craig. See, that's how we have price assurance. Price assurance and lack of buyer's remorse comes from multiple offers. It's simple. So in order for us to say, all right, how do we make sure we don't have buyer's remorse when it comes to our loan, or when it comes to our trade-in, or when it comes to the car we buy? We need to make sure we see enough offers to know that we got the best. And notice, dealers are going to try to keep you from getting more offers. That's why they think you need to be there to do business. See, that's all works into, hey, if I can keep you from shopping other offers, I can make sure I'm controlling the price, which is why we focus on cars from home. So how do we employ this bank bidding war system? Credit bureaus allow, and anybody can Google this. Okay, I see you, tips notes. Wait, I'm sorry. Tips and toes. Good to see. All right, so everybody's following. I'm glad to see everybody's tracking on this. This is what we'll get to you too, Tanya Rails. Make sure you get Tanya Rails on Facebook too, Dolan. But hold on, let's finish this up because we're talking about how to make sure we don't have buyer's remorse with our interest rate. A lot of people don't know that the credit bureaus, the people who rate our credit and sell that score to people, they allow us to shop and have multiple banks and credit unions access our credit, but it has to be within a short period of time. It's called the rate window. So if you Google rate shopping, you can verify this. So what they say is, in a short period of time, you can have a bunch of people access your credit with a hard pull. And at the end of that window, it's going to weigh on your credit as if it was one hard pull. So if one hard pull would have weighed your credit down 10 points, you can have 15 of them in that window and it's still going to be 10 points. This is how we move, which is why we never do a pre-approval with a hard pull. Who's ever gotten a pre-approval with a hard pull? I'm going to tell you what the bad part is about that. And look, see, if you get the mindset that none of these people want me to shop, if you can burn that into your mind, oh, the dealers don't want me to shop, correct. The banks, even my banks, they don't want me to shop them, correct. That is the mindset. So when you get the hard pull, it's going to drop your credit. But here's the bad part about the pre-approval, has an expiration on it. So they'll send you out with a pre-approval. Hey, Mr. Williams, good news. Hey, Mandan, Haley, let's use Haley. She just jumped on. Haley, we'll give you the pre-approval, but it's a hard pull and it's only good for 30 days. So now you're going out there and you're trying to find your car and like, hey, oh man, I got to find a car within 30 days. Because the last thing we want to do is not find a car, and what happens? We got to run our credit again. So we literally have the bank who's supposed to be helping us, hurting us, which is why we don't do any pre-approval with a hard pull ever. Ever. We are not going to limit ourselves and force ourselves into this rush shopping. One thing you're going to learn as you use the Cars from Home system is we don't rush shop. Some of you, you're in an emergency. That's no problem. Okay. Listen, if you need a car in a short period of time, we have people who, Ansley got a 1% lease. When he got his car, he came in, he used our system. Our system is designed to go through in seven days. You can get your car in 7 days below market deal. That's not a problem. You can see here, he says, look, one car down, he had 2 more to go. 2024 QX60 Lux, $58,000 car. He got it for $554 a month. He said, look, I started the process Saturday, accepted a deal Monday. That's it. He started on a Saturday. He had his offers coming in on Monday, and he was good. So it's not a matter of time. It's a matter of knowing what to do. But what we don't want to do is make emergency shopping our norm. Because a lot of people, you think, oh, if you come in and tell a dealer, hey, I need a car by next week, that hurts you. We don't want to be emergency shopping all the time. You want to be in a position where you can say to a dealer, hey, yeah, I can make a deal today for sure, but I don't need to make a deal until, 3 months from now. Your ability to say no is leverage. So we don't want to continue to always be emergency shopping all the time. And with our system, you won't be. Some of you, you're emergency shopping because you have so much anxiety. You just wait and put it off. And next thing you know, it's like, oh man, now I need a car. And now you're going in and this is all working against you. So we are not running our credit until we found our deal. This is going to sound way different than what you've been taught. If the banks were giving soft credit pull pre-approvals, we wouldn't need to do this. But they're not. Because they're trying to lock us in, they're no longer doing these soft credit pull pre-approvals. If you can find one, if your bank does it, that's what you want to do. Soft credit pull pre-approval. Tell me around about what you think my interest rate would be, and then let me go shop. Now, if your bank or credit union does that, that's the move. Once you do, in our system, we have a calculator that we do. We use the average interest rate. We put it in the calculator so we can budget, because the only purpose of a pre-approval is to budget. That's the only purpose. Just like when we buy a house, you're pre-approved for $400,000 at a 4% interest rate. Now we can budget. Let's go find our house. Same thing with a car. It's only to budget. So we have a budgeting tool that we use the average interest rate, and then you plug it in and you tell it what you want your monthly payment to be, and it factors in taxes and all of that. We have custom calculators, but what you want to do is go shop for your car, get your bids, shop for your used car, find the best one, and then you start to tell your banks and credit unions, here, make me an offer. That's when you are going to let people run your credit with a hard pull. This is called the bank bidding war. This is a system we've been using for a year. You always let the hard pull start after you've locked your car up, because now we guarantee. How many of you have tried to called your bank and said, hey, could you give me a pre-approval? And they say, well, tell us about the car. Thanks to everybody. I see you, Marcus. Thanks for liking the broadcast. Thank you so much. How many of you have called your bank and said, hey, I'd like to get a pre-approval, and they say, well, give us the information on the car. Well, if I had the information on the car, I wouldn't need the pre-approval, right? Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Princess VVS. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody liking the broadcast. Appreciate you, right? So they're working against us. It's okay. We just need to realize that. There's nothing wrong with people working against us. Just let's be aware of who's working against us. So now what we're doing is we're locking up our car, finding the dealership we're going to get our car from. You can do it our way. You could do it your way. Find your car. And once you lock the car up, that's when you're now coming home and saying, all right, let me call my bank. Let me call my credit union. Let me go online and let all of these people run your credit, because it's going to be within a small period. And then what we do is we see if the dealer can beat it. All right, here, my best interest rate is 5.7. Dealers probably have another 5, 10, 12 banks that they work with. If you guys can beat the 5.7, I'll do the deal with you. So now you've shopped everybody and let them bid, and now you're letting the dealership bid. And now when you look at the end of the month, all right, I guarantee I got the best interest rate because all of these people were competing. Type $signs if that makes sense. Type a $sign if we got that. Okay? I don't want to move on to the next thing until I'm sure we got that. This is called the bank bidding war. This is how we guarantee. Okay? Okay, I see you tips and toes. All right, I see you, Princess V. Okay. All right. This is the bank bidding war. This is how you guarantee. The only way, look, I need you getting to a point where you no longer are buyers. If you can walk out of dealership and I could come to you and say, hey, Al Berrigan, good to see you. You just got your car. Hey, you think you got a good deal? Yeah, Deshaun, I think I got a good deal. Would you bet $1,000 that I can't find a better deal? Oh man, no, I ain't gonna bet that. All right, listen, how much did you get for your old car? You traded it in? Yeah, they gave me like 12,000. Would you bet $1,000 that I can't find somebody that would have paid more for that quicker? No, I ain't gonna take that bet. No price confidence because there's been no bids. But if you bid your car out to CarMax, Carvana, in step 2 of our process, we have a 7-step process. Step 2 is the equity assessment. We're getting bids from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus Cash Offer, AutoNation Cash Offer. 6 offers we're getting. Takes us 20 minutes. So now if he bids that out and you say, hey, you think you got the most money? Yeah, of course I did. Because I let all the people who buy cars make me an offer. When we bid out our loan, when we sit at home and we see the entire market on a used car, every used car within 100, 200 miles of me, I seen it. I made sure I got the lowest one. I'm shopping for a new car or a lease. I'm talking to 25 dealers in our system. We have something called the 25 to 5. We reach out to 25 dealers all online. We're not talking to these people. So those of you who are like, I don't like to talk to salesmen, we don't talk to them. I wrote all the scripts for you. You got all the emails. You just copy and paste them. We know everything they're going to say because I had to use those same scripts they used, and we keep the conversation going. When you get those offers, we're reaching out to 25 to get 5 offers. Price confidence. Price confidence always comes from bids. It's the only way. All right? Great question. Everything we're going over so far, everything I'm teaching is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. It's normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get yours for $24. That's 75% off, but it's only for 30 minutes. That's our welcome offer. You head to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Once the timer hits 0, the price is $97, and it's worth every penny. That book will save you thousands and thousands of dollars as you use it. So it's not a question. But listen, if you get there before the timer is up, you got it for $24, and it'll be in your inbox by the time we end the show. For those of you who want to work together, you want to see, hey, can we work together? We have a Done With You program where instead of reading, you're actually watching short videos. And we have a Facebook group where you have a support of a community, over 1,500 people that have come before you in that group. And we have 2 coaching calls a month with me. So you can actually, if that's your learning style, see if you qualify. Just hit the button that says Shop with Deshaun. See if you qualify for that. But either way, just use what we're talking about. If you can get it from these streams, you use what we're talking about, so that you can start to have confidence in your car buying purchases, and so that you can save all the money that you should be saving. Frankly, like, I don't want to give $1 up that I didn't have to give up. And many people are giving thousands of dollars up that they should not be giving up to these dealerships and banks. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep the questions going. That was a great question. We had to go into detail about the bank bidding war, but we got a lot of questions, so we're going to try to get through as many as we can. I think Dolan is trying to, he's trying to go through them. Okay, I struggle with leasing only because of mileage. I travel too much. This is a great question, and this is a misconception. In my book and in our system, we have two different strategies for high mileage drivers. If they're short term is we're not keeping our cars 8 years. And then we have one for long term. Because here's what typically happens with high mileage drivers who purchase their cars. You're buying your cars, you're putting a ton of miles on them, You're depreciating. Thank you, Pastor Frank. Thank you for running the lights up. Shout out to everybody who running the lights up on TikTok. Thank you. When you see the way the value of a car falls through the floor for a high mileage driver, it's amazing. You get a $40,000 car, they put 100,000 miles on it in 3 years, 4 years, and the car is worth half. They're depreciating their car way worse than the average driver. So with that being the case, you need to take different steps. The last thing you want to do is take out a normal loan. You're going to be upside down because your car value is dropping like this, but your loan is only dropping like this, very slowly. So you typically in 3-4 years end up with a car that's almost, that's really lost a ton of value while your loan is still ridiculously high. You're $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 upside down. We don't want to do this anymore. First person that came in that showed me about a high mileage lease was when I was a manager at Hyundai. I was a manager at Hyundai and I had never saw, I remember this guy came in and I was helping him ground his lease. And he had a Hyundai Sonata at the time. And I saw it had 72,000 miles on it. And I was like, you leased this? He said, yeah, I always lease. He said, I'm in sales. I'm on the road all the time. I used to buy these cars and I just would always be putting a ton of money into them. I would always have to put big down payments down, all the negative equity, all the stuff that I knew I was witnessing, but I didn't know how to solve it and coach my and advise my clients through it. So I just thought, okay, hey, you drive too much to lease. I never even would talk to people about it. This was before I went to I had been with Mercedes for a couple years, but I had just never had this experience. So because I left Mercedes, I went to become a manager at Hyundai. I hated that dealership. It was and then I went back to Mercedes as a salesperson. But I saw what his payment was. His payment wasn't, let's say a normal payment on a Sonata at that time, a good deal was, $300 a month. His payment was only like $175 more. It wasn't double. He wasn't paying $1,000 a month. He was paying like $5,000. And he's driving 25,000 miles. So he's paying an extra $200 a month, call it, and he can drive as much as he wants to drive. Brings the car home, he ain't got to worry about nothing else, drops the car off, not worried about negative equity, nothing. And from then on, that's when I started advising my clients about high mileage leases. Most leases can be built up to 30,000 miles. So if I would have, for example, I got a 12,000 mile a year lease on this Infiniti that I got. I'm paying $499. If I would have gotten a 25,000 mile a year lease, I probably, instead of $500 a month, I probably would be paying $700 a month. But I'm driving 25,000 miles. $700 a month. I'm still way below what a person who purchases the vehicle, depreciates the heck out of it, and then goes to replace it is going to lose. So that's one strategy, the high mileage lease. And the other strategy is something I call 2 cars, 1 payment. Those of you who have a good car already that you're purchasing, pay it off. Pay it off. You might have been putting 20,000 miles a year on it. If let's say I got a nice car and I'm like, all right, I drive all this miles. Let me think about what I'm going to get next. I would keep that car and I'm going to go pay that car off, and then I'm going to lease me a nice car. Because everybody doesn't always want to put the mileage on a nice car that they're going to lease, a brand new one. So they got their mileage car. So I got my paid off mileage car. I no longer need to drive 20,000 on this every year. I might drive 10 on this and then lease and put 10 on that. I only got 1 payment because this one's paid off. So I got my nice brand new lease and I got my mileage car. And I'm going to drive the mileage car until it doesn't drive. Good to see you, Vibe with Tamika. Good to see you checking in. Cody, good to see you. Candace. So this is this is strategy. In our system is tons of strategy depending on who you are. But if you now look, let me just tell you this. You might say, Deshaun, I keep my cars 8-10 years. This is the same question we're talking about because we spent the early part of the stream talking about leasing, and we had a question. We also talked about shopping for interest rates. But then a person said they struggle with leasing because they think they drive too much. But at the end of the day, what you got to understand is it goes back to rule number one, which is the first step in our process, is how many years are you keeping the vehicle? If your question is more than 8, thank you, Vibe with Tamika. Shout out to the sharers. If your answer is more than 8, you don't need to lease. Doesn't matter how much you drive. Leasing is for people not keeping their cars 8 years. Does not matter how much you drive. If you're going to keep the car 8, 10 years, put 20,000 miles on it. Just go find a car that is capable and quality and goes the long run. I'll buy a car if I was, 20,000 miles a year, 25,000 miles a year, put 200,000, 300,000 miles on it, and just replace the car after a while. I get up one day, the car is not going to start. Man, it got 300,000 miles on it. I'll go get me another one. No reason to lease. But if you're not keeping 8 years, you should not be shopping for a purchase. Below market purchases, below market leases. Below market purchases are for people keeping 8 years or more. Below market leases are people not keeping 8 years. Very simple rule. And it's a rule. People who are in Cars from Home, the people who use our system, the people who learn from us, they know this is a rule. We don't break it. We don't break it. All right. Niche, good to see you checking in. Alex Kuya, good to see you. Call me Meister, good to see you. A lot of people checking in today on TikTok. All right, let's go. Let's get a couple more in. We got some more time. Let's get to as many more as we can. Type your questions. We will try to get to as many more. Let's not forget Tanya. Oh, wait a minute. Tanya, what about the extra mileage you made go over? Okay, hold on, Dolan. Okay, wait a minute. We'll do this one, and then we'll bring up Tanya's question from Facebook. I bought my lease out. Was this a mistake? In many cases, it was. And I'm going to tell you why. All right. When you buy, how long is the average lease? Type the number of years. I think many people know this, especially some of you who lease. How many years is the average lease? Let's go. Type. All right, Veronica Christian. Yep. 3. Exactly. When you look at the average lease and then you say to yourself, let me tell you a story. Tips and toes. Let me tell you a story. Because you might forget a lesson, but I find you won't forget a story. I'm at the dealership. I'm at Mercedes, right? Person walks in. They're like, I'm looking at this new car, they want to purchase. Like, okay. I look at their old car. Now I can see they got the old body style. So I can see it's a couple years old. What year is the one you got? Told me the year. It's about 5 years old. I said, did you buy it when it was new? He said, yeah, I bought it brand new. I said, okay. This is a story about why we never buy our leases out. Okay? Why we never buy our leases out. So I said, okay, how much you owe on it? Nah, I don't really know. I'm not too sure. Okay, we'll find out. So we pick out a new car. We pick the one he likes. We get to the numbers. I said, okay, I got to call your bank. I got to see how much you owe on this. Now, if a person has owned a car for at least 5 years and they bought it brand new, wouldn't you think it's paid off or either almost paid off? Yes or yes? If we looked at a person and said, okay, your car's 5 years old, and they say, yeah, I bought it brand new, I've been paying on it, wouldn't we think that car is either almost paid off or it's paid off, right? Yes, vibes with Tom. Yes, right? Where we at? I want to make sure everybody's clear. You got to be following this. If we looked at a person who had a 5-year-old car they bought it when it was new, wouldn't we say that car should be almost paid off? Yes? Okay, yes, tips and toes. All right, we're clear. So I'm thinking I'm about to call. Now, here's what I already know, because I'm already aware of the 8-year rule. I'm already aware that this person has paid a ton of money because you bought that car brand new and it's almost paid off. and it's a Mercedes, but even if it wasn't, it could have been a Chevy. You still put a lot of money in that car, and I know when you see what it's worth, it's not going to be the greatest thing in the world. So what I'm already prepared to do, which is what I've done with some other clients, is to tell that person about leasing and to show them how you can actually lease, and whatever your car is worth, just go put that in the bank. Because these are typically people, when they buy new cars, who are used to putting 20% down. They're used to, 10 grand down, 12. They're used to that. They're used to whatever their old car is worth, rolling it over into the new transaction. They're not used to saying, wait, so you're telling me I could lease the brand new car that I want. I don't really have to put much down. And if my car is worth 15 grand, what do I do with that? Yeah, you just put that in your bank. Really? So I'm prepared to deliver this information. So I talk to the used car manager. Let's say the used car manager says, okay, the car is worth about, 18,000, because it was a Mercedes. So I call the bank. Hey, I'm calling for Mr. Jones. We'd like to find out his payoff. Yes, the payoff is $17,400. 17,000. Wait, how did? No, I'm sorry. No. It was higher than what the vehicle was worth. So let's say whatever it was, the payoff is, 19,000. He's underwater. What the used car manager just told me the vehicle is worth, and what the car is. Hold on. I'm like, hey, Mr. Jones, they're saying you still owe like close to 20,000 on the truck. Oh, you know what? Because what had happened was I leased it for 3 years and then I bought it. Okay. I hang up from the bank. So we've been in this car for 5 years and we still are upside down. How does this happen? This happens because most people who buy their leases out are going to take at least a 5-year loan, and sometimes 6. So the first question we asked when we got this question was, what's the average lease? How long is the average lease? You guys said 3 years. So then we say, when we look at buying our lease out to have a similar payment, hold on. I always have that alarm go off. To have a similar payment, we need to take a 5 or 6 year loan. And in many cases, it's 6. It is 6. What's 3 plus 6, y'all? Anybody here signing up for 9-year loans on cars? When you buy your lease out, this is the only time where we end up spending or committing to 8 or 9 years to pay on the same car. Now, is there an exception? Yes. One exception. 8-year rule. How does the 8-year rule go back into this? Because that's always the first question. See, when you buy your lease out, it's a transaction. I want you to look at it as all I'm doing is buying a car, but it's a used car, but it's my car. When you buy your lease out, all you did was buy a used car. That's it. But it's your car. So before we ever would buy a used car, we would ask ourselves the most important question, which is, how many years am I going to keep the car? Because if it's less than 8, we're not going to buy that used car. We're going to shop for a pre-owned, for a below market lease. So if you said, all right, I'm going to buy my lease out, and from the day I buy it, I plan to keep it at least another 8 years, then go ahead, buy it. Then go ahead, buy it. That's the exception. But you would have to be saying, all right, I leased it for 3, and then I'm going to keep it for another 8, which means I'm going to keep this car 11 years, or it does not make sense to pay 8 or 9 years on it. And mind you, when you look back and say, I kept it 11, hopefully it's longer, because to pay on a car for 8 or 9 years, you want to at least enjoy 3 or 4 or 5 years with no payments. Because again, all this money you shelled out, you could have just been leasing anyway and paying less and driving better cars. That's why the 8-year rule is what it is. That's why, when you guys look, everything we're talking about is out in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. If you focus on not skipping step 1 ever, step 1 is what we call the most important question. Before you do anything, you ask yourself, how many years am I keeping this next car? Hey, I want to buy my lease out. How many years am I going to keep it? 8? All right, let me buy it. Thanks, Melissa McGrady. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody running the lights up. It's always the 8-year rule because depreciation is what's killing us on cars when we purchase them. So that's the exception. That's the only time. It's not like, oh, I'm paying cash for it, Deshaun. Does it make sense? Doesn't matter. The depreciation of the vehicle in the short term is going to wipe you out compared to getting a below market lease. And let me show you Jen, because Jen it wasn't Jen. It was, she did exactly what I just explained. When I was telling you guys how I would, some of you, you're going to do this. You've been taught to purchase all your life. You've never leased. You really never understood leasing other than what, you may have heard about it. Let me put this down. Hold on. That's not the one I want to show you. And what happens is you're like, well, Deshaun, my next car is going to be a lease then. Absolutely. So now what am I going to do with my car that I paid off or that's almost paid off? I would normally go swap this. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to do like what, where's she at? Hold on. This is a good one. Here we go. Melissa. All right, so Melissa, she took possession of a 2025 Honda Pilot EXL. She leased it. Her local dealership won the bid, and she said she got her offers that we teach in the equity assessment. Her highest offer for her old car, which was a Kia Sorento, 2018 Kia Sorento, was 12 grand. She planned on selling it to CarMax. And after she made the deal, she gave the dealer a chance to beat the offer or match it. That's what we always do. We come in with offers, and then once we do our business with the final dealer who wins, we give them the opportunity to match it or beat the offer. Saves us the time if they can match it. So now, look, they gave her the 12 grand, and she left out of there at $597, nothing out of pocket. And she's getting a check back for $12,000 in equity. You see what I'm saying? She got her brand new Honda Pilot EXL, great payment, no money down, getting a check for $12,000. That's exactly what this last 10 minutes we talked about was about. Some of you, that is your next move. Instead of going in to trade that vehicle that you would normally trade and buy another one and go into another loan for 5 or 6 years, you're going to keep that. You're going to do the equity assessment, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB cash offer, AutoNation cash offer, Car Guru's cash offer. Get those 6 offers. Take you 20 minutes. That's going to tell you what your car is worth. And then you're going to prepare to sell to them. That's step 2 in our process. But now before we can sell to them, we're going to move into shopping for our replacement car. Once we get our bids and find the dealer who's going to win the bid, now we go in. Hey, I'm getting a car from you. Hey, I'm going to sell my car to Carvana. Can you match it? I'll sell it to you. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, no, we can't match that. They're paying too much. Perfect. I'll pick up my car from you, sell my car to Carvana, put that money in my bank. Now I got this nice low lease payment with no money down, and this is the win. That's going to be your favorite car deal. You'll do that over and over again, but you'll never do that again. You'll never cash out a purchase to a lease again because you're going to know from now on, I'm not purchasing unless I'm keeping long term, and I'm not leasing unless I'm keeping, less than 8 years. But the transition in mindset and the process from, I've been purchasing, paying all this money, you're going to put a huge equity check in your bank account, and then it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So all of this is in my new digital book. Good to see you, Johnny Nixon. Good to see you, Alan B. Thea. Good to see you, It's DK. All of this is out of my new digital book. Those of you who are like, Deshaun, it's no way I'm gonna remember all of this. I just give me the blueprint, give me the step-by-step. That is 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it. Thank you to everybody who's reviewed it. It's normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get yours for $24, but it's only for 30 minutes. You go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click the picture of me, or YouTube comments, Facebook comments. We have a link there. When you click that, activate your 75% off and get your book for $24. It'll be there. You have everything we teach about below market leases, how to get below market purchases, below market used cars, bank bidding war. It's all in there step by step. So you just follow each step, check off each step as you do it. And by the time you get to step 7, which is delivery, you're picking up your new car or they're delivering it to you. So that is the system. For those of you who you prefer a done with you, some of you will do it yourself. Give me the blueprint, Deshaun. I will knock it out. That's the digital book. Those of you who are like, done with you, Deshaun, can we shop together? Instead of books, instead of reading, you want to watch short videos, 3 to 5 minute videos as I walk you through the entire 7-step process. You can see if you qualify. Go to those same links, see if you qualify for our Done With You program. And then we have community with 1,500 people in our private Facebook group. You can get your questions answered, not just from me, but from 1,500 of your other peers that have come before you. Use this system. And then we do 2 coaching calls a month. You have up to 6 months of coaching calls with me personally as I help you get acclimated into the system. So when you see me share all of these pictures are from members of our private Facebook group. This is India. She got and she joined a year before she got her car. She said, I joined last year. She didn't need a car at the moment, but she said, I got back. She ended up shopping, got her 2024 Hyundai Elantra, 36 months. This was a $29,000 vehicle. She's paying $365 a month. No money down. $365 a month, no money down. This is what it's about. They're not me. I'm sure all of you know that I can do this. The reason why I showed them is because this is you. They were on broadcast just like you and followed a simple system, strategic system, and these are the results. All right, let's go. All right, Liam McCall, thank you so much. Enjoy it. Use it. Use it like the biggest weapon in your tool belt. Stay on steps. Don't jump ahead. Don't think, hey, I noticed Deshaun didn't talk about that. You'll notice that I order things in a particular way. It's for a reason. Well, I normally do this up front. Well, leave your goal, leave your strategy in the background. That's why it's about unlearning. Unlearn, relearn. Unlearn everything you were taught about car buying and come in and just follow each step. And when you get to the goals, you'll be like, okay, I see. Oh, wow. All right. I see why we do that here and not back there early. Tanya Rels, good to see you. Tanya Rawls, what about the extra mileage you may go over? My friend ended up paying extra $3,600 for mileage. Now, this happens a lot. Who's heard of a case like Tanya's? Who's heard of a case where people leased, or maybe it was you, and you didn't get enough mileage, or they didn't get enough mileage and they end up getting penalties? Who's heard of that? And they'll swear off leasing. See, that's why I'm going to just buy it. And sometimes they buy the car. That's a bigger mistake. Oh, I went over mileage by 15,000 miles. I'm going to just buy it. Horrible mistake. Financially, horrible. But here's what happens. In step 3 of our process, this is where we're structuring our deals. I have something in our lease strategy called choosing your mileage wisely, where you simply are accounting for how much you think you're going to drive. That is important. And then we're saying, okay, I'm going to drive 15,000 miles per year. I'm going to drive 14. I'm going to drive 12. That's what now, all of our lease offers, we always shop with 12,000 miles. We're always shopping our lease offers with 12,000 miles, only first payment due at signing, taxes and fees go into the payment. because that's how we judge our offers. You're going to learn that you can easily judge lease offers when you're not putting money down. When you have a dealer who says, all right, put $3,000 down, you're at $480 a month. Put $4,800 down. This other dealer says you're at $3,700 a month. This other dealer says put $2,200 down. No, all of you work with just first payment so that we're all working apples to apples. And that allows us to judge whether it's a 1% lease, where our payment is 1% of the MSRP or less, and then up to 1.5%. We haven't talked about the 1.5% rule. That's our threshold of when we're now overpaying for a lease. When you go over 1.5%, you're overpaying for the lease. It doesn't make financial sense to lease that vehicle. So what happens is people will know they don't drive 10,000 miles per year, but they're in a dealer and they're working a lease deal, and the dealer is like, hey, well, your lease payment's going to be $490 a month. And they're like, okay, well, I need to get to like 400. And they're like, well, you can't get there with the 12,000 miles. Or they know they drive 15. You can't get there with 15,000 miles. Okay, how much if I do the 10? Never ask these questions. These questions should never be asked. You drive 15,000 miles per year, right? Yeah. So why would you be considering a 10,000 mile a year lease? To save $40? To go from 10 to 12 is 20, 25 bucks. To go from 12 to 15 is 25, 30 bucks. So literally for a small amount of money, people are getting penalties, because when you build it into the lease early, you're paying 15 cents a mile or less. When you're penalized for it, you're paying 25 cents a mile. So let me give you an example of somebody. Look at Jen. Jen knew she needed 18,000 miles per year. Now, we always shop, as I said, with 12,000 miles. Where's Jen at? Her smiling face always sticks out. Here you go. All right. Now, Jen knew she needed 18,000. We always shop with 12, whether you need 10, whether you're doing a low mileage lease on an exotic car. I don't care if it's a McLaren. You might say, Deshaun, I want to do the 5,000 mile a year lease. Okay. We're always doing shopping with 10. If you do 25,000 miles, we're always shopping with 12 rather. Once we shop with 12, we judge the deal. 1%, 1.25%, 1.5% to determine the value. Then we adjust to the mileage we need when we find the winning dealer. So you can see she shopped her offers, $39,000 Honda CR-V hybrid, $512 a month she got. That ended up being a 1.3% lease. That shows the value is there. 1.3, great lease deal, but I need to adjust the mileage now. Now she tells the winning dealer, okay, perfect, I'm going to do business with you. Can you tell me what the payment is if I go from 12 to 18,000? She goes from 512 to 563 a month. That's it. Look, so excited to have my first lease ever. So look, this is what it's about. She paid $47 more and she's driving 18,000 miles a year. Now let's just do this math real quick, Tanya, so you can see where these people make mistakes and where we make sure we never do this. So now we just looked at Jen. Jen's paying $47 more times 36 months, $1,692. That's what it cost her over 3 years to drive all the mileage she needs, $1,692. Meanwhile, thank you, Mr. Lieber. Good to see you. Thanks for running the lights up. Meanwhile, if you look at somebody who would, let's say Jen would have been doing what a lot of people do and said, well, I know I need 18, but thank you, Mr. Lieber. You sharing that. Thank you. I need 18, but I'm going to stay at the 512 payment. Now, instead of she still drives 18. That's 6,000 miles more per year, 6,000 miles. So over the course of 3 years, her lease, she's going to go over by 18,000 miles. And her penalty is going to be 25 cents per mile. $4,500. Type dollar signs if you understand. That's what people are doing. To avoid paying $1,600, they're paying a $4,500 penalty. So your friend could have literally probably paid $35 more per month, gotten all the mileage they needed, returned the lease, didn't have a penalty, went and leased their next vehicle, perfect. But instead, they settled for less mileage than they knew they needed. And now they got a $3,600 mileage penalty. That's why we have a section, choose your mileage wisely. That's what it's about. Okay? I'm glad everybody got that. So everything, listen, everything. If we ever share something and I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, this isn't in my book, I'll let you know. If I'm ever like, hey, this isn't in our system, I will let you know. Everything we have discussed on this stream is in my digital book, and stuff that we didn't discuss so far is in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get your copy for 75% off. That's $24. If you can get to our TikTok bio, our Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments, click that link before 30 minutes is up. That's your welcome offer. You'll get it for $24, 75% off. It'll be in your inbox, and you'll have those strategies to use step by step, nothing left out. Okay? And make sure when you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page, just in case some of you type your emails wrong. You don't realize you're typing quick. You're trying to not make sure you don't miss the 30 minutes and you type your emails wrong. Make sure you screenshot our support team's email. If you don't see that email in 5 minutes, make sure you check your junk, check your spam. If you don't see that in about 5 minutes, just email our support team Monday through Friday. They'll get you your book. But it's usually, we have a great system. They get there. If you misspell it, that's the only reason it's not there. So anyway, for those of you who are like, Deshaun, can we shop together? Do you have a more of a kind of an immersive experience where you guys are walking me through this? That would be Cars from Home done with you. You can click those same links in our bios or in the comments and click the button that says shop with Deshaun. See if you qualify for that. If you do, instead of reading, we're doing short videos, step by step, 3 to 5 minute videos. You can do them on your time, and they're designed to get you to where both systems are designed to get you there if you need a car in a week. So it's not a matter of time. If you need a car in a week, what you need to know is what to do exactly. You don't want to be under the gun and not knowing what to do. Give me a checklist that I can operate under. So even if I'm in the rush, at least I know I have a checklist to get me through. So I'm not going to make a mistake. But for those of you who want to see if you qualify for the done with you, then we have our Facebook group where you can ask questions. For those who like, hey, you like community, you like support. You're not a do-it-yourself person. You're more of a done with you community person. We do coaching calls twice a month on Zoom for 6 months. You have access to the coaching calls with me to make sure you get this system to the T. And either way, I don't care how you get it. I don't care if you get it with the done with you. I don't care if you get it from our book. I don't care if you get it from, if you got everything you needed from this stream, Deshaun, I got what I needed. Go execute it. If you get it from our free social media videos, go execute it. We just want to make sure you are paying the least amount for these cars that you should be paying. Good to see you, Mark. Mark in Nashville, shout out to you. Good to see you, Glennis Jensen. So this was a great show. We had a lot of great questions. We'll be back for another stream. All of you continue to unlearn, continue to make these dealers bid. Never one dealer, never one dealer. The name of it, if you don't remember anything else, you don't have the book, you're not with our Done With You program, remember, never one dealer. It's about multiple offers. You could be the worst negotiator in the world. If you get multiple offers, you're going to save money by accident. Okay? Create competition. All right. So great show. Appreciate you guys. Great questions. God bless you guys. See you soon.